So you want to know how to train at home with no gym equipment? Well, you wouldn't be one of the first people to ask us this question over the last week. The world is going crazy with this COVID-19 virus, and rightly so. It's a pretty nasty thing, so we need to be prepared, but stopping exercise is not the solution. You need to exercise to stay healthy. Stick around so we can teach you how you can do that with no gym equipment. Hey everyone, in case we haven't met, my name's Rad Burmeister. I'm one of the co-founders of Unity Gym and co-creators of the UMS, the Unified Movement System, where we turn driven people into superhumans. And the way we do that is that we've got an amazing program that has a balance between strength and flexibility. If you want to know how we do it, you can download one of the free blueprints. There's links in the description of this video. And guess what? We've created a version of this program that you can do at home with no equipment at all. And that's what we're going to be talking about today. But before we do that, breaking news. The coronavirus just got exposed to Chuck Norris, and it's going to be okay apparently, but it's been quarantined.
Oh dear.
You could see where that was going, couldn't you?
As always, we got my brother Yani here. He's the other co-founder of Unity Gym, and Phil White, our resident physiotherapist. Sorry, boys.
Fun fact, and everyone who's been watching for a while knows that I love words and being really precise about words. But so with I learnt some, I guess, correct terminology with the virus yesterday from Dr. Norman Swan, who's a really, been the leading voice in Australian. He's on the ABC and he's doing he's usually on the Health Report, but he's doing a podcast now called Coronacast, and he was sort of explaining the difference between coronavirus, COVID-19, and SARS-CoV-2. And so basically, a coronavirus is a family of different viruses. Right. So there's lots of different things that come under coronavirus. COVID-19 is a disease you get from the virus itself. So the virus is not called COVID-19. It's that COVID-19 is a disease you get from it. Yeah. And then SARS-CoV-2 is actually the actual name of the virus. So there you go. So just to be a bit precise about our terminology.
So we're going to call it
SARS-CoV-2.
CoV-2
is the virus.
I think we're just going to call it coronavirus because that's like,
we're going to... I just thought it was interesting because you're kind of getting all these different words from all over the place. So I think it's quite interesting to know exactly what we're talking about.
Not to mislead people, but it is really important to point out that there are many other side effects to drinking too much beer than just a hangover. Isn't that right? Yeah. Coronas and all that.
Oh God, here we go.
Moving on. All right.
Here we go. So look, listen, today's show is inspired by just how unbelievably fast this situation is unfolding around us all. Like, on Friday at Unity Gym, because in Australia we're behind the world with everything, but definitely with this virus, like what's going on in Europe and even in America and obviously China, we're behind that, and it's picking up. And on Friday, honestly, it was business as usual with a little bit of speculation as to what might happen. Come Monday, bang, there's mandatory self-isolation if you come from overseas, and it's just changing from day to day to day. And a lot of our members have asked us, so many of our members have been told to work from home now. That's one of the first things that's going on. And, we're taking a lot of precautions at the gym, obviously. Us personally are doing all the basic stuff, which means I'm literally washing my hands probably every 20 minutes. We're not touching our face with our hands. If we need to scratch, it's like this. We're not shaking hands.
All in-person appointments for now. I'm just doing online consultations. So
we're keeping that little bit of distance. And because we've got a small gym, we only have about 100 people that we get exposed to every day. But nonetheless, we still are wiping down all of our surfaces with disinfectant multiple times through the day. We have a cleaner that comes every day and sanitizes everything on a much higher level than what we do. So there's all of these little things. But now we're faced with this issue of our members are saying to us, I can't get to the gym because I live so far away and my work's in North Sydney. What do I do to keep the workouts going? And Yani and I spent a great deal of yesterday coming up with a really, really good plan, and that's what we're going to talk about today. And in a nutshell...
Before we go into that and give away all the best bits of the show, I think it's really important to frame up why this is so important. And Phil and I had a really great conversation about this earlier, and we are planning to have a friend of ours, a mutual friend, a friend of Phil's, who's a medical doctor, really, I guess, to a degree, working on the front line, and feels quite exposed to people working on the front line because his girlfriend is also a ED, emergency department doctor. So she's in the hospital, and you know, I think it's a great opportunity for us at this point in time to give praise to the people working on the front line, because they are knowingly exposing themselves to the risks here, and it is really scary, you know. And I think it's really important that, you know, we make a point of, like, these people are the most important people in the country, in the world right now, I would say, you know, and they're doing something pretty intense that they've probably never really had to do before, and arguably not really necessarily signed up to, because we've never experienced anything like this in our lifetime, you know. So I want to give a lot of praise.
Yeah, I mean, it's with my girlfriend. She's luckily she's kind of at the moment they're putting all the junior doctors as the ones who are dealing with the outbreak, and she's sort of a next level up in seniority, and so she's currently still in the regular emergency department rather than the corona clinic. But yeah, like it's going to get to the point where they're just going to have all hands on deck. They're already looking at trying to get in people who have retired, or you know, even some sort of students who are pretty far along to come in and start helping out, because it's getting
and you were telling me this morning, just painting a little bit of a picture of the reality of what it looks like, you know, with people waiting out in the rain to be tested for COVID-19.
She was saying there was really heavy rain here in Australia, in Sydney yesterday, and it was bucketing down, and people were standing out in the rain because they weren't allowed in waiting rooms, and there was lines around the corner with hundreds and hundreds of people trying to get tested.
And it's just getting started.
Yeah, and already one of my friends who's one of the doctors has contracted it. That was actually on a stag do in France, but he's back in Australia now. But you know, but it's serious. Like he's now in hospital. Like he's quarantined there for 2 weeks now. It's like he's got it. So
yeah, we've had to cancel or postpone our calisthenics blueprint workshop this weekend because Simon Ater has just flown back from America, Monster Strength, and he's had to go into self-quarantine for 2 weeks. You know, it's affecting everyone, and it's absolutely affecting the numbers at the gym. We have the place is a bit of a ghost town, really. So first and foremost, much love and praise sent to the people on the front line who are having to knowingly expose themselves to this virus, and it's a big deal because, as with all viruses, that Phil's corrected me a million times with explaining, exposure to the virus is a critical factor. How much exposure you get, it determines how sick you get, basically, you know.
Yeah,
so
viral load is looking like it's a big sort of player in how heavily you get impacted, and viral load is, you know, if you have like a small amount of exposure to a small amount of the virus, maybe something that's left on a countertop that from like someone, you know, 3 days ago, versus being a doctor who's, you know, breathing the air up close from someone who's you know, doing something.
Who's sick. Yeah.
Again, not an expert on this, but it's from what I've been understanding, that seems to be a big player. So
yeah, that's right. Second of all, what we want to talk about is the things that you guys can do to prepare yourself or to mitigate how badly you experience it. And as we said, as Phil's just pointed out, without having a medical doctor on the panel, which we're working on getting this week, we can't answer all of your questions. We're doing our best, but we can certainly give you some basic information.
Yeah, I'd really recommend that CoronaCast, which is from the ABC, which is the Australian Broadcasting
Commission.
Yeah, so it's like the government body here in Australia, the government media. They're doing a really good podcast with Dr. Norman Swan, giving regular sort of Q&A sort of stuff, so would recommend CoronaCast if you haven't had a listen.
Yep. But what we can talk about is the way that your body works and your I'm gonna use the term immune system loosely here, but really I like to talk about the body as a healthy body or a non-healthy body. You know, we're very lucky. We sit in a position where we've worked largely the majority of our life to cultivate or to build a very strong, healthy body, and that makes us a little bit more resilient, so it seems, to this virus in particular. But one of the things that can really disrupt your body's health is drastic change in your routine, in your habit. And this is why I really want to address the concept of at-home workouts today, because one of the worst things that you can do at the moment is make a dramatic change in your exercise routine, because it is, and I think, Phil, you can probably explain this a little bit better than me. It's something that will have an impact, a negative impact on your overall health and your ability to sort of stave off this virus. So why don't you...
well, I'm just, it's not necessarily like, you have to be doing like this exact workout and this will make you resilient. It's rather just thinking about, how a healthy body works. And, we get the recommendations of 10,000 steps a day is probably a pretty good idea. And if you're walking to work, going up and down stairs, doing all that sort of stuff, and plus people here are going to be involved in a gym program, if you're doing all of that, usually it makes a lot of sense that if you go to the now being, stuck on your couch all day and not getting the general movement happening, and then, you no longer have access to the gym and you totally withdraw from doing that, it's quite likely that, well, it's definite that your body will respond to the lack of stimulus in a negative way, just as we know with, all lifestyle conditions, obesity, diabetes, all of these are impacted by a sedentary lifestyle. So, it makes a lot of sense to try and figure out ways of getting a, healthy sort of routines in this sort of new stay-at-home social isolation.
Make no mistake, guys, this is going to affect our lifestyles and our routines for a long time yet. We're only in the very beginning stages of this. So the thought of if I have to stop going to the gym for a week or two, that's not what's going to happen here, So what needs to happen from a mindset perspective is we have to adjust and pivot appropriately, and that means that if you have been given the directive to work from home, or you're in lockdown, which a lot of the world is, and I'm sure eventually Australia will experience something like that too, then we need to pivot and we need to come up with a solution that keeps you moving and keeps you active just as much as you were before. Now, obviously, it's not going to be the perfect routine, because the perfect routine requires some assistance from weights and the things that we're used to having access to in the gyms, but you can definitely still exercise to a very, very good level and keep your body and your immune system ticking along as it is right now.
And I think it's something that we've talked a lot about before with, the positive, like the negative spirals of injury is when you stop moving and you stop doing those healthy behaviors that you used to, like going to the gym. Often it's then harder to, make good food choices. It's often harder to get to like a good sleep at night, because all you've been doing is sitting on the couch and exposing yourself to, screens late at night, and all these these things often go together. And so it's going to be, I think, a massive like health problem for the world is if everyone stops, doing those healthy behaviors and starts, if you're unable to go out and get fresh food all the time, you're only, eating bags and pasta, like, this is kind of worst case scenario sort of stuff here. But if you're doing all of that, having like a suddenly very big change in your diet, massive sort of glycemic load, so lots of, sugar that you're no longer using and burning, then it's more likely to have sort of poor health responses. So this just trying to give you guys the best sort of way of maintaining what we're doing here in the gym and helping sort of prop up your healthy behaviors at home.
Yeah, and so from a mindset perspective, first and foremost, it's really important that we acknowledge, okay, there's a change that's occurring, and for most of us, whether it's affecting us now or not, it's going to affect us soon in the future. We have to accept that, we have to come to terms with that, and then we have to move on and start working on building a new habit. Now, someone who's had to do this very recently is Rad. His lifestyle and living arrangement changed completely because he moved from living very close and local to the gym, and we were training 6 days a week, coming in on the weekend and doing our second straight arm scapular strength workout, to him moving to the Central Coast. For those of you not in Australia, that's a few hours commute. And coming here as much as he was used to was something out of the question. So why don't you walk us through, what adjustments you had to make to be able to still get your workouts in, and how that might benefit the guys?
So just quick disclaimer before we do keep going on to this. Obviously, the information we're giving here is assuming that you are still healthy and you haven't actually got any sort of, viral issues, because obviously it's a lung, largely affecting the lungs, and if you are suddenly, trying to push yourself with exercise in a time when you're, when you're sick, that's, we're not advising that. So obviously talk to medical professions about your specific situation, but this is assuming that you're, isolated because you are at home and healthy.
And just added to that, I'll add to that as well, all of the research that I've looked into about exercise really stimulating white blood cells and helping the body's immunity and things like that, it's very clear that it's medium intensity exercise that does that. High intensity exercise, as to my knowledge, does the opposite. It can actually deplete you a little bit. And this is one thing with our whole program ethos is that training consistently and frequently at a 70% intensity, we believe is much better than every other day at 100%. Yeah. And I think it's a really poignant time to adopt that sort of ethos. You know, you don't want to be going out there belting yourself on the days that you can do it and then, not do anything for a few days and then belt yourself again, because those real heavy training sessions will suppress your body's ability.
Yeah, it might be a time to, we've been talking a lot about the overreaching programs in the last few weeks, might be a time to,
give that a miss. And just focus on the 70% daily moderate intensity exercise. So Rad, why don't you share a little bit about how you worked around
Well, I just set up a really basic home gym, and at the most basic level, at least if you've got access to somewhere where you can hang them, is just a set of gymnastics rings. And there's just so much that you can do with those. It's awesome. You can do a really good version of the UMS workout. But it was just about immediately identifying that I had an issue with being able to train the way that I wanted to, and pivoting to create a new habit around something that I didn't.
But before those who don't have anyone anywhere with rings, turn off this and look elsewhere. What we'll be going through is a program where you don't need any equipment, no rings whatsoever.
Let's get right into that.
I think that's largely what I wanted to hear from you. Is not so much about what you did to facilitate exercise. It's more about how you facilitated the habit. How you formed the habit.
You just immediately have to identify what you've got and just start doing it. And what we're doing, I think it's important because viewers don't watch these whole things. I think it's important right now that we address what it is that we're doing for you guys.
Yep.
So Yani and I yesterday spent a great part of the day creating a version of the UMS program that is done at home with no equipment, not one single piece of equipment, just the floor. And of course it isn't, it's not exactly what we do in the gym, but it is very damn close. And it is we believe it is the best thing that you could do at home for yourself if you want to be strong and flexible and fit and athletic. So it still has, it's a Monday to Friday program. It's not a 6-day-a-week program. It's mimicked off what we do at the gym here with our members. It still has bent arm strength on Monday, Thursday, lower body on Tuesday, Friday, and then a straight arm strength on Wednesday. And if anybody's really, really keen, they could repeat the straight arm strength workout on Saturday. It still has a 1-to-1 ratio of strength to flexibility. So we do an A1 strength, an A2 flexibility, A3 strength, and then A4 flexibility. And that's the first 2 movements. But for those of you that are used to our online training methods, what we're doing, the second thing that we do, which is what we do in the gym, we're doing a circuit that has a cardiovascular element to it. And that circuit is a 4-exercise circuit that has an A1 cardio, A2 core, A3 cardio, A4 core. So it's basically cardio, core, and it's really designed to give you, it's designed not only to keep you strong and flexible, it's designed to give you a good experience, something that's going to make you feel good, get an endorphin rush, keep you fit, keep you healthy, keep you as strong and flexible as possible with zero equipment. And the coolest thing about it, the thing that you really got to give Yani props for this, because he's the one that came up with this, is that we understand that for a lot of people, an at-home workout, the reason why it doesn't work for you so much is the motivation, right? You're training by yourself. It's quite hard to motivate yourself to get up and train. So Yani's come up with a brilliant solution to that, and that is that we are going to live stream Richard, Yani, and myself doing these workouts together daily.
Maybe Phil as well.
Maybe even Phil. We'll see if he wants to get in.
Watching these guys just run rings around me.
Yeah. We're going to do them daily at 8:10 in the morning, which is the first opportunity that we get in a day because we have classes from 6 till 7 and then 7 till 8. But because they'll be live streamed, even if you're on the other side of the world and that's actually 2 a.m. in the morning for you, it'll be there for you as soon as you get up and you want to go through it. And it's going to be us going through the workout with you in real time, not a tutorial. It's going to be us doing the workout with you so that you can join in. We'll be talking to the camera, we'll be telling you how we're feeling, we'll be, G'ing each other up if someone's falling
interacting,
behind.
and that's to accompany the actual program that we're putting together and releasing. So you're going to get all the usual stuff. You're going to get our tutorial videos, you're going to get the program cards and all of that. But this is just an added bonus that is really designed to give you a bit of motivation. Rad's going to run us through a daily mobility flexibility session. Afterwards is a cool down that might run for a few minutes for anyone who's got a little bit of extra time. I'm going to talk a lot about mindset. Richie's going to do every workout with his shirt off so that you guys have something nice to look at.
Rig.
The Richie the rig. And he's sitting up there not looking
He's not looking very happy, but he didn't know that, but he is going to have to look at his shirt off. So.
I have like a massive amount of massage oil that I'm no longer using now that I'm doing online consultation. Don't worry, Richie will be
him up.
Oiled up.
Yeah,
we'll get the show lights out there.
We'll bring this lighting rig out there so we get the good angle.
Let's play a little game here. If we get enough comments on this stream, then we will literally get Richie to do it with his shirt off, all right? But if we don't get enough comments, then sounds awesome. Jay's in. Jay's in. If you watch this stream both on YouTube or here we go. We got it coming through. Richie, you're in trouble. If you're watching this stream now or afterwards, or you catch it on YouTube.
Just one sec, Adam, it doesn't matter, brother, if clearly you guys that are on the other side of the world are not going to be doing it with us at 8, 10 a.m. I get it. But it's going to be there so that you can just press play and join in with us, so you're still going to get the experience that you're doing it with us right there, and we will have only done it a few hours before.
And so it is 8, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, or are we in Daylight Savings Time?
No, we're in Daylight Savings Time.
So look up time Sydney.
Or you do any smartphone, just go to the clock and add Sydney as a world clock, and you'll be able to see what time it is there.
If you want me in there, it's going to have to be 8:30.
Right, okay.
Because I don't finish training Neil until
okay. There looks like it's going to be 8:30 then.
There you go, Adam.
Okay. It'll be 8:30.
If that helps, 20 more minutes.
Yeah.
Look.
Shirt off.
Yeah, we're getting a few
go,
comments
Richie.
here saying shirts off, Richie. So Richie's
he's rolling his eyes up there, but I'm sure deep down inside he's stoked.
He's excited. Yeah. Shirts off for the boys. Yeah. So look, honestly, like the rest of our programs, what we do, we really believe in. We believe that they are really good, and those of you that do them, you're the proof in the pudding. You're the people that are telling us. I mean, anybody that doubts it, if you want to have a look at what Tom Wood just wrote in the UMS Movement Mastermind about his experience with this over about a 13 or 14 month period, it's life changing. So we've got this new situation. The world's in lockdown. We don't know how long this is going to last for.
Going into lockdown.
Yeah, we don't know how long this is going to last for, but all hysteria aside, and I hope you can see, we're not trying to fearmonger here. We're not trying to put hysteria in. We're just trying to be real, and we're looking at what's going on in our gym, and we're looking at people that are commenting on the UMS online coaching program saying all of the gyms in, where was it, New Jersey, all gyms are shut. You cannot go to a gym in New Jersey now. Do you guys have anything to do at home?
I want to jump in here. And we come from a place of extreme optimism and positivity, and that's something that Rad and I have cultivated and spent years cultivating. But I want to put it to you all that this can be turned into a positive. This extreme challenge can be flipped on its head quite easily and turned into a positive. And by that I mean there are areas of our bodies that are lacking in development. And for me, it's absolutely compression strength that I see here on a daily basis needs work in people, and end range strength. And for some of you, just basic flexibility. I know that I need a bit of flexibility work because I'm not as flexible as Rad, and all of the above for Phil.
That's true. Mate, my volleyball skills.
I joke, but I'm also serious, So what we're going to do here, for anyone who's not used to our UMS training regime, this is just going to be an epic, very challenging workout. But for those of you who are used to our UMS training regime and are doing the UMS program, this is going to be an incredible opportunity to level up two areas of your body that I know that you will have room for improvement on, which is end range strength. For anybody who's already flexible, then end range strength is a must for you. And for everyone else who does at some point want to unlock like the really cool calisthenics movements, compression strength, which I've found recently is an absolute must. Even in my heavy squatting, I really inflamed a hip flexor doing my superaccumulation prescribed overreaching program from squatting every day. It was my weak link. So even someone like me who's so heavily passionate about my heavy lifting is gonna find benefit doing this program, you know. So guys, I want to really put this down right now. I want to draw a line in the sand, and I want to stop us approaching this as a negative, and I want us to flip that shit on its head and start approaching this as an extreme positive. This is an opportunity for all of us to level up in some way, shape, or form.
Yes, 100%. Like, there are definitely going to be some negatives with people and their health being affected and potentially a lot of people dying. So
of course.
But with your training,
let's not go there if we're not there. You know, like there's no point. There's absolutely no benefit from us all sitting here going, "Fuck, people are going to die."
If you're on the couch and you're at home and you're healthy, like. There's so much you can do.
At all trying to take away from the severity of the situation, but I'm trying to say there is no benefit to us dwelling on this.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. And I think, I mean, Adam's just put it here, said, thank God for you guys. I thought I was going to put on 10 pounds the next 2 months, and absolutely not. This is what we're trying to really help avoid.
This is what we're combating. But we're not, sorry, Phil.
Just one point from my physio hat as well. As I've mentioned in this episode many times before, your body gets used to what you spend your time doing. And if you've been used to be training and you suddenly are just sitting on the couch, you're going to get a sore back. You're going to get, you're going to really decondition, deload all these structures that take time to, to load and to stay healthy. So if you suddenly spend the next 2 months, you're really going to be impaired once you do get back in the gym, and it could be more than 2 months that we're out of action with the actual gym. So it's so important to, as we've talked about with the minimum effective amount of exercise you can do, sure, intensity counts, but as long as you're doing something, your body will keep what it has and you'll bounce back so much quicker on the other side.
That's exactly right. So, what Yani's saying is really true. If you've never done the UMS program before, then I guarantee you that this is going to be a really amazing program for you, and it's going to be like something that you've never done before because of the way that we put so much work into balancing strength, flexibility, and cardio fitness. If you are a UMS online coaching member and now you can't get to the gym, as Yani said, this is just going to be a variation of what you're used to, with some more emphasis on some things and some less emphasis on other things. But make no mistake, doing it will still propel you forward. In the same vein that me injuring my shoulder and not being able to do any upper body work that works towards my goals, which are things like handstand push-ups, ring work, no work on any of that. But over the last year, I've gotten so much stronger and more flexible than I ever was before because I still trained and I just pivoted where my focus is.
The
and
obstacle is the way.
That's exactly right. The obstacle is the way.
That is exactly right. And that's, imagine a scenario where we all come together even stronger as a tribe and community and come out of this even more physically capable than we've ever been before. And as a result, healthier than we've ever been before. Now, yes, there are going to be those of us who contract this virus and I believe that some people will experience symptoms of it, some people may not, but I think that there is an opportunity here for us all to come together and come out stronger, as a tribe.
Yeah, I agree. Jay's got a really good question. He's saying, are you going to try to incorporate household furniture within the workouts or just body weight? Well, I never thought of that, but now that I'm thinking about it, maybe we can get some couches and do some overhead press with the couches.
Atlas stones, I've got a great opportunity because my fiance is 55 kilos, which is exactly what I bicep curl. So, I've got some options.
Jay, in all seriousness, we will, as the workouts evolve, we will say, hey, look, if you've got access to this, you could do this right now, but we won't be doing it like that ourselves.
The most stripped back version.
We will be doing it, assuming that people have nothing, because otherwise, if we don't, there's going to be a lot of people that are upset that we're giving them exercise selections that require household furniture that they don't have access to. So we will at some stages say, hey, if you can do this, then you could do that, but the whole workout is going to be designed to just be calisthenics, on the floor, doing nothing. And I guarantee you it'll challenge you and it'll be something very, very effective. Even just the flexibility. If you're doing flexibility with me in real time, you're going to get challenged, I promise you. So I guess we should talk about how do you get this. If you're a member of the UMS online coaching program, it's yours. Everything that we do is a part of that program. So that's one of the amazing things about having a membership to the UMS online coaching program. We just put new stuff out and it's all there for you. If you're not and you're not ready to dive in, it will be made available this Friday. As always, when we release a new program, just like we did with the Preston Handstand Masterclass, there'll be a small window where you can get it at a discount with a bunch of other programs that are at-home programs as well. We already have 3 other at-home programs that we've got, but one of them requires rings, one requires dumbbells, but they're still considered at-home programs. But it'll be a really good bundle, good opportunity for you to get it.
And just quickly, we will be releasing. So this week we literally start filming the tutorials this afternoon at 2:30, and they will be produced this week and ready on the weekend. We're going to start we've already designed the program, so we're going to start the live streams immediately to give anyone who wants to join in or see what it's like. You can look at it and see what it's like and see what to expect. But the actual program won't go live until the weekend. But then that's only phase 1. And the phases, because of the reduction in intensity of this, meaning we're going to make up we're going to sort of bridge the gap in the intensity that we can't produce because we don't have barbells and dumbbells at home. Yeah. External load intensity. We're going to bridge that gap with volume, and we're going to manipulate rest periods and recovery periods to create intensity. Now, and also body positioning, because we still use calisthenics body weight, but we're going to produce phase 2 and phase 3, and we're going to continue producing phases so long as we need them. So every 4 weeks there's going to be a new phase to the program released, and we're all going to do it for each phase for 4 weeks. We don't need a testing week for this, and we don't need a deload week for this because the intensity is going to be a little bit less. So yeah, every 4 weeks it will be there'll be a new program phase uploaded to the UMS online coaching portal. So it's going to be an evolving program, and we're going to continue to do this for as long as we need to, guys.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, look, if anyone's got any questions, of course, anybody that catches this video later after the live stream, please post your questions. But tomorrow in the UMS online coaching group, look out for the first live stream for this if you want to join in with us. If you're at home and you can't get access to your normal gym equipment, then join in, jump in, give it a go. It's going to be, in the very least, it's going to be a fun experience because you're going to be doing this with Yani, Richard, myself, maybe Phil, and Richard's going to have his shirt off. So it's going to be cool.
Well, we need a couple more comments. So, guys, get your comments up on this stream. Now, we're about to go live to our Unity Gym Tribe and do a special announcement there, and then also to the UMS Online Coaching Tribe. So if you are a member of those, jump over to that now. Otherwise, to everybody else, thank you very much for joining us. And we're all in this together, guys, as a community. We're very, very lucky for our community and for our tribe, and we're very grateful for that. And and
the shows will go on. We'll keep trying to put out as much good information as we can, and so keep getting your questions in. And we're trying to see this as an opportunity to really put out as much useful stuff as we can. So
absolutely. Awesome, guys.
Have
Thanks
a great
for joining
day.
us. See you soon. Health is about performance, not just body image.
You better be willing to accept what you're going to have to do to get there.
We'll start focusing on movement goals, strength goals, flexibility goals.
When you nail that skill, it's there forever.
The body image goal doesn't get you that far.
It's the consistency and frequency that's going to get you there. It's not the intensity.
There's no shortcuts to mastery and movement. Destination doesn't change overnight, but your direction will.
The gym is not the place to beat up the body that you hate. It's the place to build the body that you love.
We are the gym that teaches people how to move instead of just exercise, because we believe that health is about performance, not just body image.